Hey guys, what's up? Prison Mike here. Thought this video would be focused on Titans. Everybody loves the Titans. They look pretty cool. They bang pretty hard. They definitely can turn the tides of battles, so it's important to make sure you're doing the right thing to upgrade them. The Titans over here on the left, you can see there's actually two of them. There's a male Titan and a female Titan, and I'll go through these both in detail. First and foremost, so this is the male Titan. You can name him whatever you want. I have stupid names because I'm immature. Female Titan here on the top left there under their names, you can see those numbers there, which is what they call their battle power, their BP that they contribute individually. And so you see my female Titan has 648,355. Male Titan is less because I'll go through the reasons in detail, but about 587k there. If you look at the right top, there's this little like t-shirt icon, and that pertains to their costume, uniform, skin, whatever you want to call it. That's one of the probably 5 aspects of the Titans that will allow you to enhance their skills, build them up to make them stronger. So if I click on that, you can kind of see here which costumes or skins, whatever you want to call them, I have active down here. I will say, and then it shows you kind of what you need to upgrade them. The skins are the most expensive thing for the actual benefit you get, which is negligible. It's usually just like a bit of an attack for the individual Titans themselves. This one is through the things like the Duel of Dominance and Triangle Wars. You spend money in that, and the female Titans, that actually comes from the like racing battles that you can do, where you get a group of 4 people together and you do the actual like racing event. It's from spending money in that you can unlock like the Valkyrie or the Samurai here. So the other aspects that are worth noting then, you can pull over there's a little icon that you can pull over to see their actual stats here on the right in the middle. Clicking that, you can see there just the things like the HP, the attack, all that good stuff, defense, just the routine stats that they have. Good to note. And then importantly now, if you go down to the bottom, you'll see evolution, upgrade, talent, and equipment. Those are the 4 areas that actually allow you to upgrade different aspects, enhance, improve different aspects of your Titans to make them stronger. And then in the equipment portion, there's actually 2 aspects within that let you upgrade different things that I'll go through. The first thing though, so it's actually, I'm gonna go with the female Titan first, upgrade. So this is involves the level. So you can see I have level 24, and both Titans I have are level 24. I've kind of upgraded them evenly. If you upgrade levels, it requires things called mutant meat, which are these experience point things you can see down below that you'll accumulate from various things. If you click more down here, it always shows you the ways you can accumulate these things. Some cost money, some don't. But anyway, that's how you'll upgrade the levels. As you upgrade levels, you'll see on the green numbers here are how much you upgrade from going to the next level, which is important. But more importantly, it really, just like with the planes, it lets you upgrade the actual skills that you've unlocked. So some of the key skills that you want to keep unlocking and emphasizing because they're really good, you can't do that because they're capped by your actual Titans level. So we'll go through that in more detail, but that's something to note. So you'll upgrade the levels. The Titans is one of the things. The other thing that people get pretty fixated on is evolution here, which actually I'm gonna evolve during this video. The Titan, just so you guys can see that. The way it works is your Titans will be green, and then from green tier they'll go to the blue tier to the purple tier, and then they'll be in this what's like the orange or gold tier. It's called the last phase tier is what it's actually called, but the color is like this orange or gold. And then the reason that the tiers is important is because that's what actually will allow you to unlock the different skills. So you can see here like this invincible skill, I don't have that yet because I need to keep going through the last phase to get to that point where it gives you a pretty nice attack buff for troops and zombies. So I don't have that yet. I have to keep going through the evolution. It gets really expensive because of this right here, which is these mutagens source stones. They're pretty expensive to buy. I basically just in the weekly chest there's there's an option to get them. So I buy usually 1, sometimes 2 of the chests per week only. So it takes quite a bit of time to accumulate those. I don't get them from the other like chests that you can buy for the Titans specifically. I don't really buy anything from those type of chests. So it wasn't that difficult to get to the last stage, but I've been in this last stage for a long time with both of them not even upgrading a single tier yet, the male and the female that is. Generally, it's recommended that you go from green male Titan to blue male Titan, and then female green to female blue Titan, and then back to the male Titan blue to purple, and then female Titan blue to purple, and then female Titan purple to gold, orange, last stage, whatever you want to call it. So if that makes sense. So you're kind of going male yellow, again green to blue, then the female green to blue, male again blue to purple, female blue to purple, and then on the purple you switch. Now you prioritize the female Titan because of the attributes you unlock with her. So that's the recommended by most, I guess, quote unquote experts. That's also what I did, and I thought that was a good way to do it. The male Titan gives you a lot more buffs, I would say, in general, for like just his attack, and if you look at battles, you'll see he does a lot more probably damage and kills in and of himself and what he can bring to the table. But the female Titan actually has a lot better buffs that will help with the damage, attack, HP, etc. of your army, of your troops. And so I think she's actually better and more important to focus on, and that's actually what you'll see reflected in a lot of my stats and things that I talk about those more. So getting out of the evolution and moving over into this talent. So this is where the talent is where you actually have your skills that you've unlocked, from the blue to the the green to the blue to the purple to the orange, gold, last year, again, whatever I'll call it. And you can see here which ones I prioritize, because all the ones that are at level 12 are maxed based on my current level. So like if I just hover over one of them here, you see I got to get up to Titan 26 level to further upgrade them, and that's why I have it. And all these stats are upgraded pretty heavily because they're the ones that will benefit the troops as a whole. Probably the most important one, in my opinion, just to highlight, is going to be get into it here, sorry, this one here, which is your Queen's Majesty, just because this one does damage, increased damage to long range for your army. So your army will do more damage to the enemy's long range troops. And again, damage, as I mentioned in other videos, is by far the most important thing to focus on, much more than attack. Damage is a multiplicative or a multiplied stat that really delivers a lot more benefit than just an additive factor like the attack aspect of things. So damage is really important. So that's probably the most important one to upgrade first and foremost as you unlock things. And then a lot of the other ones are just for like HP of your troops, things like that. There's one that you see I highlighted here that's actually for the Titan herself. It's her defense and HP. The reason that's still important too, after you kind of focus on the things that are for the troops and army as a whole, is because you don't want your Titan to die. So I focus on things that are for the individual Titan's attack last. The second to last is the HP and defense of your actual Titan, which is so important because you don't want them to take hits and die during the battle, because then you won't get their benefits. So that's why I do still add some of those buffs, or why I did to some extent use these like modifying fluid here to upgrade them as much as possible as well. So some of the other ones that are good, I think Blood Feast is a really good one for the female Titan, because she'll do an attack to 3 different units of the enemy's army. Usually they're long range focus or mid-range if they're a mid-range build. The damage then is added to a shield that goes on your melee troops. So the troops that you have in the front row taking damage, you get a nice little shield that can be helpful, that can last a pretty brief amount of time usually, because it's just not that high, but it does still help a little bit, definitely. So those are some of the things to take advantage of, like things like the actual symbiotic tail here. It looks cool because in the whole tail, that's how you'll know if somebody has their orange gold last phase female Titan, because you'll see the tail actually sending a bunch of attacks shooting out of the tail, and so it looks cool and it does a fair amount of damage. But again, it's an individual stat, so it's not something I prioritize at all compared to some of the other things. And then the last thing here is over in the equipment. So there's 3 different equipment pieces. So you can see there's like the head gear piece, the crown, the leg armor, and then the actual tail for the female Titan. And each of those has 4 different, I guess, skills or things you can level up here. So this one's attack for the female. This one on the right is going to be the HP and defense of the Titan. So those are individual for the Titan. That's why I don't care about them as much. And then the other 2 are going to be, this one on the left is attack. So it's your not damage, but your increased attack for all your troops. And you can see the cost here of these. And then basically what I have, and then the level 16 there, and the amount it increases it, and then the one on the right bottom here is HP for and defense for all your troops. The reason I have even really done any attack at all is because it's cheaper at these lower levels, and you want to get these middle awakening skills unlocked. For the female Titan in particular, I think they're really, really great. The first 2 in particular, so this one is really helpful. One of the probably most important things you can get, because again, you can see it says right there, it launches every 10 seconds, but what it does is it fortifies the melee, your front row troops, to take about, for me right now, it's 19.2% less damage. So next time I upgrade another level, which I can't right now because you need to unlock it. So you can see the crown, it says the crown's 4 component total level needs to be 56, which means these side 4 skills here that I'm clicking on, I have to upgrade any combination of 4 of those more to get to 56 to be able to upgrade this level further. And that's why I've done the attack the way I have up to level 9, even just to unlock this awakening skill in the middle. So it's kind of a balancing act here. You can see I have plenty of the actual piece needed here, which are these little equipment chips. I have plenty of those, but that's not what matters. What matters for me is unlocking those skills based on having the full 56 things that I need to have here. And so anyway, what you can see is that this being really important because it basically gives almost, for me right now at level 10, almost a 20% damage debuff for your front row, which is incredibly important. They're the ones that take all the damage initially, and so really having this damage buff or debuff is incredibly important. Again, that's not an attack debuff, it's a damage debuff, so that's really, really important. One of the most important ones to have. The other one I would say that's really, really important is the one over, and that's the leg armor, because this steel barrier actually gives you about, for me right now, it's about 10%. So you can see it's 10.4% damage reduction. So again, huge amount of reduction in damage as long as my front row, my melee troops are surviving. So assuming I have front row troops that are left alive, which I usually do for most of my battles, hopefully the whole battle ideally, it gives the Titans and the rest of your troops a 10% damage reduction, basically, which is huge. It's a really significant one. It's not attack, that's damage. So really worthwhile to focus on that too. Again, for me, I have to activate 4 more of these skills on the side to get that to be available. And so just going over these. So again, same top 2. It's the Titan's attack and the Titan's HP and defense, which I don't care too much about the attack, but HP and defense are not bad to invest in so your Titan survives. But then the new skills down here are increased attack to long range, so not damage but just attack, so you'll do more damage when you're attacking long range and more damage when you're attacking middle range. So they're fine stats to use. I don't care that much about these, but it's fine because again, they're means to an end, which is really the important thing, is getting that steel barrier up as high as you possibly can. Really, really important. And I don't actually have the symbiotic tail here, or the toxic tail, excuse me, activated even yet. I still need 15 more of these side pieces to have that even available to activate. I don't really care about that middle one as much because again, it's damaged by the tail, so, and that's just the individual Titan's attack. That's not something I would prioritize. These actually side skills though are really, really good for the most part. The one on the bottom right here, the attack to melee, is not that important. That's like probably the least important of all of them, just because again, it's attack only, not damage, and you do want to do damage to melee to kill them, so it's important, but not super important. I would say the Blood Feast, that's again a skill I talked about earlier with doing damage and getting a shield, which is important, so it definitely helps with that. But as you can see, these get really expensive as they level up, like 341 of these little alloy is pretty expensive. I can't even upgrade 3 different ones at this cost, so worth noting that. And then so that's the Blood Feast. This one over here is probably one of the ones that it's kind of offset by, so it is damage, increased damage to long range, not attack. So that's important because damage, as we talked about, is really important over attack. That benefit is somewhat negated by the fact though that it's only the Titan itself, so only the Empress's damage is increased. It's not the Empress's army. So it's not that great because of the fact that it's only the individual Titans damage to the long range, which is not negligible, but it's not anywhere near as much as the whole army. So damage great, but the fact that it's the Titan kind of offsets the overall benefit of it. And then this one here is pretty good because you want to have a big zombie army. That can really make a big difference. I'll probably make a separate video about that. But your zombies can hit pretty hard, and they can actually get pretty strong HP and defense as you level up to higher level zombies, and they can make a really big difference in fights as well. So those are all pretty good skills. The Toxic Tail, again, I don't care about that much. So that's the female Titan, kind of the gist of it. And then the male Titan, as you'll see, the evolution, so not as important. I don't really care about that much because it's to the melee attack, defense, HP. That's fine, I guess, but I'm gonna try to focus on the female Titan first when I upgrade or evolve to the next tier. The upgrade's the same, talent tier, so just the skills. So you can see if you look at these compared to the females, like I had all first up to level 12. Him, I only have the speed of your troops, their movement speed, which is important. This is probably the most important one, which is a damage reduction taken from enemy troops by melee troops of your army. So again, anything that reduces damage is really important, and this reduces damage from enemy troops by your melee, so your front row, like the ones that are absorbing all the damage and stuff. So that's really important. And then this one's another pretty good one just because it increases the HP and defense of all your troops, your zombies, etc. So you can see the ones that are 12 that I've prioritized. This one does affect all your troops here, the energy guard, and you can actually click and see the little video here, which you'll see is little silver, like bluish circle that forms, and it increases the defense and HP of your friendly units in that circle, which sounds great. And assuming they just all sit here like this the whole time and nobody kills anyone and moves, it's great. The problem I found with it is that oftentimes, hopefully you're smacking the enemies, killing them, and then this thing forms this circle, and then your troops are moving forward as they fight through into the next rows of enemies, and so your main troops that are taking out damage aren't even in this circle half the time, so it's kind of frustrating, and that's why I don't really care as much about it. A lot of these other things are like just individual Titans. You can see this is for the character, like the actual Titan. Same with this here is for the actual Titan. So like stuff that's just not as beneficial because this is attack by the individual Titan, which does a lot of damage, but again, it's just an individual Titan attack. So that's why, like I mentioned, he does way more damage and kills in and of his own abilities than the female, but the boosts and effects for your army as a whole are much less important. That's why you should prioritize a lot of the female skills and attributes more so, because you're going to get absolutely more bang for your buck out of that. So that's just worth noting. And then getting into his last things here. So this destructive lightning is pretty good. Every 10 seconds you'll basically shoot this off, doing a fair amount of damage from the Titan in and of itself, and it kind of smacks 4 enemies, assuming there are 4 enemies there. And so that's not a bad skill to have. It's fine. And then I think off the destructive lightning though, you get some additional benefits, because after you cast destructive lightning, you get an attack benefit for all your friendly units for 5 seconds. That being said though, like I have this at level 7, not super high, but it only adds about 9% attack. So it's not damage, that's just attack. If it was damage, it'd be amazing, but it's not. It's just 5-second increase attack for your army, which is not that impressive. So that's why these skills to me are not that important. And then just again, same, this is attack, this is defense for the individual Titan, this is the attack of all troops, this is defense and HP of all troops. So those are the same as the female. Here, same attack, defense for the Titan, and then here now it's reduced the attack of the enemy long range instead of increasing your attack to them. So really doesn't matter that much. The difference is because they're again just attack, not damage. So reduces the attack. It's good to have a balance of this for mid-range and long range. The majority of people use long-range builds that we encounter, so that's why I probably prioritize that a little bit more. Some nations you will see they have a lot more people who have mid-range, and there are some advantages to that. I'll probably do a video if people are interested about the differences and why long-range versus middle-range formations and stuff like that. But everyone in my nation and most of the nations we fight uses long range, so that's why I tend to prioritize that a little bit more, just because of the sheer numbers. And then this last group here, so there's some decent ones here. So this is increases damage to mid-range troops, but it's the spirit source's damage to the mid-range troops. So it's again the Titan's damage to these troops. The damage is great. The fact that it's just a Titan is not so great. So that's kind of why it offsets, just like with the female Titan. Here, I talked about the energy guard already and how I do like it a little bit, but not love it because of some of the problems with how it activates and doesn't really work for the troops. But this would buff them up more. Here again, just increases. This is probably one of the most important ones I need to probably work on a little bit more, because this is actually your troops, your army's damage to mid-range troops. So this is probably the most important one to focus on of all of them. I'd actually definitely 110% is the most important one. I just need to upgrade that more here. The problem is I don't even have enough for this to be activated, so it's a little less motivation, but that's probably one of the ones I've slacked on that I need to really increase more, is again this stat right down here, because of the damage by my army to mid-range troops. So important. And then the final one over here on the right is just the HP and defense of your melee troops, which is again your front row ones that are absorbing it. So that's a good stat too. So that's the gist of this. This is a lot longer video. Hopefully this is helpful. As I mentioned before, the most important thing is focusing on the stats that benefit your army as a whole, and then focus on things that help, I think, your HP and defense of your Titan as an individual, to keep them alive and survivability so they stay in the fight. And then last is the individual like attack related things of those Titans. I think that's a later benefit that you'll see. And I just wanted to show you guys because it took me forever to get this, so I'm just going to evolve during this actual video itself so you guys can see here. You can, again, these are the hardest thing, these mutagen sources, so you can see I can hit evolution, whoop, and well, it's not very exciting, unfortunately. Pretty anticlimactic. It adds a little bit of overall BP to him now. You know, 652k, but I haven't activated anything, so I need to get all this through this again and again to get up to this stat here. So it's going to be I'll be old and gray by the time I probably activate this, but that's fine. The priority is really getting a lot of these other talents upgraded and stuff like that too. And then again, I think focusing on the Empress Escort here and then this Steel Barrier are like the two most important things in my opinion for sure to win battles. And you'll see that in fights, how people who have these better are just going to have less damage overall taken, and they're gonna win a lot more fights. So I'd focus on those things there. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, I'm not going to focus too much on like the different costumes and stuff like that, because I just don't see a lot of benefit. It's just they're expensive, and you can see they just add like individual attack, which is the least important thing to focus on. They look cool, but that's about it for them. So yeah, I don't know that there's a whole lot more to talk about with the Titans right now. So hopefully that was beneficial. Comment below, ask questions if you have them, like, subscribe. As always, it's greatly appreciated. Thank you, and hopefully this was informative.